is called a ninja to in Japanese. This is actually just a decoration sword. I have some functional swords. This is just meant to be put on a wall. And according to legend, the ninja used straight samurai swords, so there's no curve in the blade. As far as I know, that is just a Hollywood crap, actually, because all samurai swords were curved. In fact, Dr. Masaki Hatsumi, one of the last, if not the last, living ninja grandmasters, shinobi grandmasters, I should probably say officially, he always uses curved swords. Nevertheless, it's kind of nice. It has some black stuff going on there, and the blade is really straight, and it has a sort of tanto, now known as the tanto tip, and all of that is very black and very ninja-ish. You know, it's also ninja-ish. The pilot Vanishing Point in Mad Black. I was tempted to do something with the ninja scarf, but you know that there's one guy in Canada who actually beat me to that, so you should also look up his review. Ziggy1333. He did a review of this pen. I was looking out for one in DC 2012 pen show, and then Eric from FP Geek said, well, I have one. It doesn't have a nib, but actually I don't care much for it. If you like, you're welcome to it. Of course I liked. So here we go. So I didn't get a box. I know it comes in this cool sort of carbonite Han Solo frozen in time box. I didn't get it. If you want to see that, again, Ziggy will hook you up with some pictures of the box. Let's just talk about the pen today. So what have we got here? Well, it's a Vanishing Point, aka capless pen, which means that you cannot just screw something off. You can, of course, but it will not do you any good. What you need to do is push the button, and out comes the nib. Now, I didn't care much for that design. You know, I used a Vanishing Point once, but to me this feels a bit like a fountain pen disguised as a ballpoint pen. However, now that I've had it for a while, I have to admit it is extremely practical. You just put it in your shirt pocket whenever you need a pen, bang, you write, you're done, bang, it's gone, back to the shirt pocket, and that's all there's to it. So it's not really a matter of fancy design. It is really practical. I'll admit it. Okay, let's have a look at the parts of the pen, tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and that's all there's to it. Then I'll do a writing sample. The pen. So usually I would start with a cap, but there is no cap. So I'll just start with the capish end. It has a nice clip. Clip is pretty springy, not extremely springy, but springy enough to keep the pen in place and not to be so tight so it would not be useful. It has a strange opening there through which the nib is launched. See that? Not sure how well you can see that, but it's there. Out sticks a bit of the nib and the feed. Come back to that in a second. Yes, there we go. I don't want to get ink sprayed all over me. Not sure whether that would happen, but I just took it slowly there. As far as I can see, there is a type of mechanism that actually goes down a bit like a ramp, and then the nib comes out. So that way you don't actually have the nib or the feed drying out. So that's pretty cool. We have a nice facet, well, not really facet, it's like a ring here. Then you got the nib unit, so to speak, and then you got what usually would be a cap. That looks pretty cool. It says Pilot Japan. This comes in a bunch of colors, but I got the matte black version, obviously. 2 rings there. You can unscrew those, come back to that in a second. And here you have yeah, what do you call that? Now, this is definitely not a blind cap. It's the operating mechanism, right? That actually puts your nib out. Pretty cool. Looks pretty big. I kind of like that. And then here we have another ring, sort of ringy edge thing going on, which I'm not sure how well you can see that. You can see it now. It's not in focus, but at least you can see it. So what about it? When you unscrew it, what does that look like? That comes out. It's sort of spring-loaded, so be a little careful. That looks like a converter, doesn't it? You pull out the nib unit, you Eric gave me this pen. He never bought a nib for it. He just used the nib from his old, well, I should probably say vintage, because he had the faceted model of the Vanishing Point. Here we go. So this just slides in. I got this from Richard Binder, and it's a broad, you know me. He tuned it, Richard Binder, so that's cool. You immediately know it writes. You buy this unit like this, so it comes with the nib and the feed. It comes with this metal sort of tube thing to keep the pen in place, and you have to be very careful there. It comes with one of these pilot converters with the wide openings, and I have to be very careful. I don't want to get ink all in there. Right. On top of this is a little knob. Can you see that? There you have it, a little knob. That actually slides in, because you can imagine this, the hole for the nib is flat on one end. That is the feed end, and the other side is rounded off. So it has to go in one very specific way, and this little knob will make sure that it just slides in there. It can't go in any other way. It just slides straight in there. You see that? So that's good. You fill it up with ink. I just dip this thing in the bottle, then wipe that off. I'm assuming you could also dip the whole thing in the bottle, but I'm not sure. I don't want to get ink in there, because you got that sort of hatch thing going on. I didn't want to push it that far. So this is what I did. It worked perfectly well. I mean, Richard Binder tuned it up. Got to be a little careful there. Probably push the button once. There we go. Screw it back in place. There we go. Works just fine. The nib, it writes smoothly, but you know, it was binderized, so that was to be expected. I like it. It's different. The whole matte black thing is different. Of course, the Vanishing Point thing is different. It's a bit odd to put this in your shirt pocket, knowing that the nib end is up, and that is, of course, usually the case with fountain pens. But you have this button down, and I was afraid that I might activate it, you know, accidentally. So far that hasn't happened. So I'm pretty sure it works. Okay, now as to cleaning, well, you can clearly take out the converter and the nib unit I've just shown you. I was unable to remove the nib itself. The nib, by the way, is 18 karat gold. I couldn't separate the nib from the feed. Maybe you can, but it all looks pretty thin. I don't want to break anything off, so I just, you know, put water in the converter the old-fashioned manner, squeezed it out again, drew up some more water, squeezed it out again, etc. And that seemed to work just fine. So cleaning this pen may be a bit more elaborate than with some of the pens. You can completely disassemble, take the feed out, just flush that, or put a bulb syringe in the back. I think I actually, oh wait, I could put a bulb syringe in the back, because of course you can just take out the converter. Maybe that is what I did. I came back from DC with 10 pens. I cleaned so many of them that the past few hours I forgot what I did. And I'm getting pretty old, so that's what happened. So anyway, cool pen. It's just that. It's cool and it's very practical. So, I think I've talked enough. I think it's time to do a writing sample. I hope this was useful, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Okay, there we go. I didn't have to write that down, because it's pretty obvious it's matte black, but this nib is such a joy to write with. I just had to do some extra writing. The ink is Waterman Florida Blue. That is one of my default inks for pens that are a bit difficult to clean. I found that it's pretty easy to clean. Notice how dark it is. I had it in here. No, wait. This may have... No, this is the same ink. This is the absolute same ink. I know it is. Notice how light it is there and how dark it is there. It really depends on the pen you use, how white the nib is, and I can't really complain about nib work there. But that's just a difference in ink. It's funny how feeds and nibs actually influence the writing. So the nib is not just broad, it's 18K, and you feel that. It's smooth, it's nice, it's rhodium plated, and it's binderized. Some people have complained, I have a complaint. Sorry, I just got back from DC, I'm still slightly jet lagged, so just forgive me. Have complained about the placement of the clip. See, I'm jet lagged, I can't even figure out basic words. Over the lazy dog. I didn't mention that in the talk part of the video, because I thought it would be easier to show you. The clip makes it a bit difficult for your thumb and index finger to touch, and you only notice, at least for me, I only notice that I actually do that with other pens, see, when I started to use this pen. So it's one of those things you notice once you cannot do it anymore. You can grab it a bit lower, but then you're very close to the nib. I prefer to hold my pens a bit higher, and then the clip will actually interfere. Now there is a bit of a cutout going on there, which you can actually put your thumb and index finger into, and then it's pretty comfortable. So for me, this is not a big issue. What is a big issue is the way it writes. Smoothly, nicely, seriously, nice and wet. One of the first things Richard Binder did when he got this nib, I bought it from his stand at the DC Pen Show, was to just jam an X-Acto knife in the slit. I'm not sure whether these nibs are known to be a bit dry, but apparently he took no risk. Just jammed that thing in there, and now it's definitely wet. You saw a bit of a startup thing there, but it's been out for a bit. And that's the good thing about this pen, right? You don't have to cap it. You could just pop the nib back in, ready to write. There you go again. Okay, let's do some fast writing. I don't see any skipping. As I said, nice and wet. Feed keeps up well with the nib and the writing. I just love it. Dog's going berserk there. Don't know what's going on. Probably a ballpoint user on the perimeter. That's what they do. I just love this. I just love it. Okay, line variation. It's 18K, right? So it should give me some, and it gives me some. Give it to me, baby. Strange stress there. Hello. Jet lagged, sorry. Widness, wideness, widthity, widthity. I like that one. You see a wider line there, you see narrower line there, and that's all there's to it. So you will definitely get some line variation here. Maybe not extremely pronounced, but it's there. I didn't buy this pen for the line variation. I actually didn't buy it at all. Yes, well, still, it's cool. I love it. So, for a long time I've waited in getting one of these, and Eric was so kind as to give me this pen from his personal collection. I love using it. I think it's awesome. I thank you for watching. Again, there was a bit of a startup issue, but it's really also the way you hold the pen, so don't take it out in the pen too hard. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Eric, for giving me this pen. I love it. I think it's very awesome, and I'll see you later. Click, and it's gone. Bye-bye. Hey there! Nearly cut my own head off.